Okay, so settling in, finding a resting place, a comfortable, easy place to rest. Lying on your back, sitting up against a piece of furniture. There are so many options in your space. So find a peaceful way to sit or lie. We just, yeah, okay. And settling into stillness, we choose stillness, releasing into the support, security of the earth. You made a choice to roll out your mat this morning, and we all have a different intention for this practice. And we'll try to move and breathe together to work into those intentions. My intention as your teacher is to bring the philosophy of yoga to you, using the pose, becoming aware of the body, and allowing the body to settle into the support beneath you. To find a peaceful way to connect to that rooting, to the foundation. Using the breath to move deeper into the awareness, allowing the body to become still, and the breath to become smooth and even. Settling into your natural rhythm. And maybe noticing that in yoga we can use the breath to allow the body to settle even deeper. And especially in that pause between the exhale and the inhale. There's a connection to the parasympathetic nervous system. We bring awareness to that connection, a mindfulness, and allow the body to go even deeper into a piece. Maybe as we bring awareness to the body resting on the earth, to the breath restoring us, we become aware of our thoughts. We allow them to settle into that peace as well. Complete inhales and softening exhales. Coming to our practice, the practice of awareness, the practice of letting go of our old habits, the practice of turning towards us, turning in, and reconnecting with the I that is always there. With the hope that in this peaceful state, we have a clearer mind and we make wise decisions, wise choices. Checking in with the body, aware of the breath as it moves into the heart space. Breathing into the wings of the heart. allowing the body to expand and open to accept the breath. Connecting body and breath, allowing the thoughts to settle. To be in peaceful stillness with the eye that's always there and the wise heart. From the moment you're aware of being awake, we make choices. We make a choice to roll out of bed, to put our feet on the earth, and to move through the day. We slow it down, become aware of how we feel, maybe lean into that feeling. We make the wise choice of taking care of ourselves, of really knowing our heart's desire. And so as we move through the practice, we try to link it to the breath. To restore the body and bring it back into balance. With the intention of connecting to our thoughts. Three more rounds of intentional breath. Making the inhales and the exhales the same length. With just a gentle pause between the breaths. And with your next inhale, maybe the arms float out, around, and up. And we extend through the fingertips without efforting into the shoulders. And if you're lying down, or maybe you want to join us in a reclined position, maybe you extend into one heel and then the other as you soften the arms to rest onto the earth for a moment. And breathe into the thoracic body, the front, back, and side body. Aware of the opening, of the gentle opening, not forcing anything, and then maybe pointing the toes. And then allowing the arms to come out in T if you have the space and it's accessible to you. And with your next exhale, maybe tapping the fingertips to the center of the heart. And with your inhale, opening the backs of the hands back to the earth. Inhaling and exhaling with your rhythm, bending at the elbows to tap the upper chest or the center of the heart. Aware of this simple movement linked with breath. Aware of the expanding heart space of the deep breath in, filling the lungs. And with the exhale, the softening that comes even as we gather the belly in and up to expel all the breath, to create space for the next inhale. Maybe I said 3 rounds of breath. Maybe we'll take one more round of breath like this. And then settle into stillness, floating the arms back to either side of the hips. As you bend one knee and then the other, just step the feet softly onto the earth. Maybe sliding the shoulders away from the ears down towards the waist and tucking them a little closer together under the center of the heart. Aware of the foundation through the soles of the feet and the shoulder blades, the back of the head. Maybe allowing the neck to lengthen as you gently tuck the chin towards a notch in the collarbone. Aware of the breath moving into our natural curves. And the breath doesn't move into our natural curves. But if we imagine it moving into the natural curves, we can soften those places, the lower back and the back of the neck, and everything around those places that we grip and hold starts to soften and release with the rhythm of the breath. And with your exhale, as you gather the belly in and up, it draws towards the earth and opens up the lower back. It doesn't have to come perfectly flat. Inhaling, we allow the hip points to roll towards the knees as we rock forward and back on the sacrum, that nice flat fused part of the back body that rests in between the hips. So the only thing that's leaving the earth, if you think of it that way, is the lower back. As it lifts and opens as we roll the hips forward, and then it comes a little closer to the earth and the back starts to lengthen, or the muscles in the back start to lengthen again. And we start to let go of any gripping and tension in this easy, familiar way without any effort. Firing up the first two chakras, bringing the energy to that place at the tip of the tailbone and the belly. And we slowly move up through the back body as you are ready to press into the feet. And then instead of rocking the hips, we lift them straight up an inch, two more, to start to open up a little deeper, maybe coming to the space just below the wrists. And then exhaling, lowering down. So now we're moving through red, orange, and yellow. Moving our chi, our energy. Opening up the body with the breath. Moving slowly, mindfully with your breath as you root the shoulders to the earth and the soles of the feet. The legs are strong and active. Working against gravity to open up the front body. Maybe the heart even floats towards your chin as it lifts up and opens through deeply through the front body. And then slowly use the core muscles to lower down one vertebra at a time. This is your practice, your rolling bridges. Should look very different than everyone else's. You're just right there in your own space with your body in this moment, moving with the breath. Maybe aware of the thoughts every once in a while as they tug at you. And for this moment, allowing them to float away, bringing a sense of peace and stillness. Maybe one more round of rolling bridge. And then settling into the earth with your next exhale, allowing the hips to rest, aware of the breath. And with your next exhale, one knee and then the other floats into the chest as you clasp maybe in back of the knees. Maybe you prefer over the shins, but be aware of the shoulders. Bring awareness to the shoulders and allow them to rest to the earth, no acroting, as maybe you get some movement here. You don't have to wait for me to suggest anything. At the same time, don't be in a rush to get anywhere. We want to try to come to yoga with a beginner's mind, curious about what we brought to our practice today, body, mind, and spirit. Moving slowly, mindfully with the breath. And coming to stillness again and allowing the feet to come back to the earth and walking them the width of the mat with the knees up. And then with your exhale, allow both knees to float to one side. With your inhale, they come up to center. With your exhale to the other. And maybe we notice we always start with the knees floating to the right, or we always start with the knees floating to the left. And maybe as we become aware of our habits of the mind and the body, we start to challenge them. As we challenge our practice on our mats, we bring that small challenge into our everyday life. The challenge of awareness and what we do with that awareness. And with your next inhale, find stillness and allow the knees to fall together. The feet are still wide, but maybe you have to adjust the feet so that the knees naturally fall together and you're not efforting. Aware of allowing the breath to move into the back body, to fill that space in back of the heart, and to breathe into the wings of the heart. The body gently fluttering open to accept the breath and gently hugging the breath out. Nourishing the body with the breath. It's there all the time. We don't have to think about it. It happens naturally. But if we bring our awareness to the breath, we can settle into a peace. So it's there when we need it. With your next exhale, allow the knees to float away from each other and walk the feet back to hips distance. Big inhale there. Exhale, sigh the breath out. Soften the jaw and the eyes and the shoulders and the hips and wherever you're holding tension. And with your next exhale, allow the right knee to draw into your chest. And make some circles of that leg in the hip socket, whatever feels organic for you. Maybe if you realize you always start in one direction, start in the other direction this time. Find the breath again, slow it down, don't be in a rush, and then reverse the circles. And then settle into a stillness, interlacing the fingers in back of that thigh, softening through the shoulders. And remembering I only offer suggestions, and you're pausing in a stillness that works for you. Aware of the breath, of how it echoes throughout the body. The subtle movement of the belly, of the thigh against the belly. With your next exhale, maybe you have space to gather the belly in and up, and maybe you draw the thigh just a little closer. Just offering it, not forcing it. And with your next exhale, release the bind and inhale the legs straight up to the ceiling. Reach into the heel, flex the foot. Exhale, draw the knee to the chest. And inhale, extend into the entire back of the leg. Reach into the heel, the calf, without locking the back of the knee, right? Move with your breath, exhaling and inhaling, maybe just 2 more rounds. Starting to get to know what you brought to your practice in the right leg and the right hip, and maybe even the right lower back. And then finding stillness there as you draw the knee to the chest and find your strap or scarf or tie or belt, whatever you're going to use today, if you are using something. And placing it around the toe joints, the big toe and pinky toe joints. The left arm rather is resting on the earth, maybe holding with just the right hand, and find a soft grasp of whatever you're using to modify. To move deeper, to allow you to move deeper into your practice. As you root into the sacrum, there's equal weight in both sides of the hip. And then you keep that rooting so that you can lengthen into the heel to reach and extend out of the hip socket and gently offer the space for the toes to draw towards the knee, with the big toe pointing overhead. So maybe there's a subtle rotation of the inner thigh away from you. Don't worry if you can't access any of my cues. Be okay with wherever you are right now. How does this feel? Maybe you need to soften the knee a bit. Find the breath, soften through the shoulders. With your exhale, gather the belly to root the entire thoracic body on the floor. With your inhale, allow the leg to float out to the right, any amount. Exhale, draw it back up to center. Inhale, left hip rooted, right leg moves out from that extension. Inhale, draw it up. Move with your breath, doesn't matter. Inhale, exhale, whatever feels organic for you. Just slow down and move throughout the breath and backing out of anything that doesn't feel good for you this morning. Nice. And the next time you inhale up to center, switch the strap into your left hand. Extend the left leg straight out onto the earth. I hope you have space to move here. Modify if you don't. Allowing the right arm to extend, if I didn't say that already. Out to the side, soften through the shoulders, but allow the shoulder blades to root flat onto the earth. Breathe into that opening across the collarbone. With your exhale, you're floating that extended leg over to the left. With your inhale, floating up to center so that the right hip lifts off the earth, moving towards, but maybe not coming to, hip stacked, legs straight off the hip. Just see it in your mind, but allow your body to go wherever it can today. Meeting your body wherever it is, finding your edge, knowing when to challenge and when to back out of something, aware of the breath that moves you, and finding stillness the next time you exhale over. Soften there. Maybe with your inhale, you can lengthen through the right side body, the right hip floating away from the armpit, and then allow the breath to move into that space. Reaching into the heel, the big toe. Maybe you've backed out of this twist. With your inhale, allow that leg to float back up to center, bend the knee, remove the strap. The foot floats to the earth and that leg extends straight out to meet the left. Aware of the breath. Finding your natural rhythm. Using the inhales to scan the right side body as it rests on the earth. And then scanning the left side body. Maybe just noticing one side feels a little different than the other. Maybe not, but just noticing. No judgment, no expectation. We've done this so many times before, but each time is just a little bit different. With your next exhale, the left knee draws in for a gentle hug. We move the leg around in the hip socket, making circles or side to side, forward, back, whatever is accessible for you. And then reversing those circles. Maybe already aware that this side feels a little different than the other. As you come to stillness, we exhale the belly to the earth and find our foundation of the sacrum, rooting of the shoulder blades, resting. And with your next inhale, that left leg extends straight up with the breath. Reaching into the heel, flexing the foot, and with your next exhale, the knee draws in. And with your inhale, it extends up to the ceiling. Moving with your breath on this side, aware of letting go of the efforting and moving with easefulness. Moving into the hip, the knee, lengthening through the entire back body from the back of the head to the bottom of the foot. And then finding stillness with the exhale and allowing the strap to come around the toe joints. Holding the strap in the left hand, allowing the right arm to float to your side, soften through the shoulders so that you're not efforting to draw that strap down, the toes down, just offering a little resistance. As you root into the sacrum, you lengthen into that heel, and maybe you even feel a little space in the hip socket. The core muscles keeping you rooted to the earth. As you exhale, the belly gathers in or towards the earth and up, and that leg floats out of the hips to the left. Inhaling up to center, toes pointing overhead, slight rotation of the inner thigh away from you. Don't worry about it if you don't get that. This is your practice. What are you working with today to move deeper into your practice? The awareness of the breath, linking the breath to the body, finding a graceful flow without rushing through your practice or anticipating the next side or pose. As we try to stay in this moment. And the next time you inhale up to center, find stillness, switching the strap into the right hand, allowing the left arm to float to the earth, and extending that right leg straight out. Allowing the shoulders to rest softly on the earth, and with your next exhale, the leg floats over to the right as that left hip lifts and moves into stacking, but not quite there. Inhale, back up, hips rest. Exhale, rolling onto the right side body. Rolling onto the pinky toe side of the right foot. To allow the left leg to come into its fullest expression of this twist. No effort. Maybe coming into stillness in the fullest expression of the twist for you today. Maybe with your inhale, you're able to allow that left hip to move away from the armpit, to lengthen through the left side body, and then to breathe into that opening you just created, softening here. And with your exhale, the belly gathers, and with your inhale, that leg floats up to center, bending the knee to remove the strap and allowing that foot to come back to the earth, sliding the leg out in front of you to meet the right. And then using the inhales to scan the left side body. Just noticing what you notice. And scanning the right side body. And then allowing the breath to move into the wings of the heart. To feel the entire back body, to become aware of the breath moving and opening into the support beneath you, expanding to the earth. The connection to the earth that's always there to support us, beneath our feet, beneath our body. The breath that's always there to bring us into a place of peace. The choices, the wise choices that we have, if we check into the heart. With your next exhale, allowing one knee and then the other to draw in for a hug. And maybe getting some movement here, rocking from side to side. And then coming to stillness with the palms of the hand on the knees, with the fingertips towards the ceiling. As if you were sitting in an invisible chair with the hands resting on the knees. Shoulders soften away from the ears and slide underneath the heart space. Maybe the chin tucks a little towards the notch in the collarbone. There's a natural curve to the lower back, and maybe you're aware of the core muscles that are working to keep you in this posture, this pose. And the breath that guides you. Did you go too far? Do you need to back out? And maybe with your exhale, as you root the sacrum to the earth, you can allow the knees to float away from you as you extend the arms to straighten the elbows. And with your next inhale, the knees separate from each other out to the side. And with your exhale, they draw towards the chest again, or close to the chest, and inhale over the hips again. So moving in mindful circles in opposite directions, not going any further than extended arms, becoming aware of the connection to the earth. Maybe you're resting in stillness because that enables you to have a more peaceful breath and you're not making the circles. And maybe you're going to reverse those circles now. So the knees come towards the chest, out to the side, away from you, and back to center. Aware of the breath, of any gripping or holding, and softening with the exhale. And the next time the knees come back over the hips, allow the feet to float to the earth. Deep inhale, releasing, exhale, extending one leg and then the other. Walking both legs over to the right. And inhaling the left arm alongside your ear. And finding a place that the arm can rest easily on the earth beneath you. The shoulder is soft and the breath moves freely into the left side body. And as you feel a softening, maybe you shift the shoulders a little more to the right for a deeper lengthening, opening of the left side body into this crescent shape. With both hips resting on the earth and the shoulders resting on the earth. As if you were standing and extending that left arm up and over to draw you deeper into the left side body, using the breath to soften. And with your next inhale, allow the shoulders to shift back and that left arm floats down and the legs walk back to center, and you're moving slowly, mindfully with intention, not in a hurry to get there. Enjoying the journey. And then walking or inhaling the right arm alongside your ear. Allowing the legs to walk over to the left. Maybe already this feels a little different as you soften through the shoulder and allow the arm to rest onto the earth in a way that makes the pose sustainable for you. Maybe you have space to shift the shoulders and move a little deeper or walk the legs a little further over. Both hips still rest on the earth. And the breath moves easily into the right side body. Deep breath in, soft breath out. And with your next inhale, the shoulders shift back, that right arm floats down and the legs walk back to center. And you exhale and draw one knee and then the other in for a hug. Massaging out that lower back and the muscles on either side of the spine. What do you notice? Just noticing. And then finding stillness there, allowing the arms to float to either side of the hips, palms down. And inhaling the legs, both legs, straight up to the ceiling. Nice. Legs are at least hips distance. They're settled into the hip sockets, but extending into the heels as you flex the toes. And maybe this is where you're staying today. Maybe you're bending the knees and floating the lower legs parallel to the earth, and that feels a little more sustainable for you. And maybe with your inhale, you're able to open the legs away from each other. And with your exhale, gathering the belly, hugging the legs back to center. Inhaling, opening, maybe adding resistance if that's in your practice, to take the hands to the outside of the thighs and pressing against the outside of the thighs as you reach the legs open, and then exhaling, hugging the inner thighs together. Inhaling, pressing into the palm of your hand if that's what is accessible for you. Exhaling, drawing them together. Aware of the core muscles, letting go of the shoulders and the jaw. Last time. And then bringing the legs together, bending the knees, floating them to the earth. Rolling over onto one side or the other, using your arm as a pillow. If your habit is to bend your elbow, that pillowed arm, see if it feels better to extend the arm open. With your exhale, gather the belly. See if you have space to allow the knees to come a little closer to the chest, the thighs to rest against the belly. Honoring your anatomy and whatever opening or knot you have today. And then allow the breath to move into the back of the head. Deep inhales, softening exhales. Shoulders soften. Hips are stacked. Maybe you have space to allow the forehead to come towards the knees and open through the back of the neck. And the entire back body starts to curve or fold or round. You breathe into that space. And with your next exhale, gather the belly, allow the top arm to come to the earth. Exhale, the entire core draws you up even as you press into the earth. That top leg maybe extends, maybe it happens naturally. And you walk yourself up and over to all fours, taking the time to place a blanket or a pillow under your knees if necessary. Setting up your foundation to sustain this tabletop, allowing the weight to float into the pads of your fingers, softening the gaze to the floor beneath you so you have a nice long back of the neck so the chin softens to the notch in the collarbone. Find the breath filling the space between the shoulder blades. Find the front body supporting the back body. And with your exhale, as you press into the mat, reach the hip creases back, lengthen through the back body. With your inhale, come forward into tabletop. Exhaling, hip creases reach back, lengthening through the back body. Inhaling back to tabletop. 3 more rounds like this, linking breath and movement. The arms moving in their sockets, not efforting out of them. So adjusting the foundation of the hands to meet the needs of the body. Graceful movement linked to the breath. And the next time you inhale into tabletop, find stillness there. Exhale into the foundation of the earth and inhale the left leg straight in back of you, curling the toes under. Firing up the muscles of the leg so that you can inhale and lift it straight off the hip. Finding stillness there with active arms, soft shoulders, and maybe experimenting with inhaling the opposite arm, the right arm, alongside your ear. Softening the arm in the shoulder socket. To go deeper, lifting the thumb to the ceiling, to open up through the side body. To lengthen through the back body as you extend into that heel. Maybe you can see the diagonal stretch. Stretching on the bias if you ever worked with fabric. And breathing into that space. The breath sustains the pose. If it's not a smooth, even breath, you can't sustain the pose. So soften, adjust, let go of the efforting. One more round of breath here, waking up the entire core body, and exhale, soften. Knee down, that hand comes down. Walking the left hand to the center underneath the heart space, and inhaling that right arm straight out from the shoulder so that it's parallel to the earth, palm facing down. Your gaze is to the fingertips of that left hand. With your next inhale, let the heart open to the right. The arm just floats around in its socket. Yes, the fingertips extend and lengthen to the ceiling as you root into that left hand. Maybe you have space to shine the heart open a little deeper, a little further. Maybe not on your body. Maybe it's in your practice to gaze towards that right thumb. Straight off the collarbone, not back, not forward, resting in the shoulder socket. One more inhale, and with your exhale, that arm floats down. Finding both hands underneath the shoulders with the wrist creases just in front of the shoulders. And set up for your tabletop. Find the foundation, root to the earth. Breath is smooth and even. With your inhale, the right leg extends with the toes curled under. As you reach into that heel and find length out of the hip socket. So you have more space as you fire up that leg. It extends off the hip and up towards the ceiling without lifting that right hip. Aware of the left hip crease, drawing back and in to keep equal length on both sides of the body. And when you're ready, maybe you're moving deeper into that stretch to extend that left arm alongside your ear. Softening that arm in the shoulder socket. And then allowing the thumb to reach a little closer or higher to the ceiling alongside the ear, keeping the gaze to the earth, one straight line. No wrinkles in the back of the neck. Breathing in, breathing out, backing out of anything that doesn't feel good. Is the pose sustainable? Aware of the breath. Aware of the stillness and the peace that you can settle into when you find the balance. Exhale, softening the knee and the hand down. Walking that right hand to the center of the mat. Rooting into the earth. To inhale that left arm straight out from the collarbone. Soften the arm in the shoulder socket. The shoulder blade is flat on the back, drawing to the center of the back, but that's not where the twist comes from. As you inhale, we lengthen the sternum away from the belly. Don't be in a rush to get there. Root into that right hand and open the heart to the left. Not efforting in the arm or the shoulder, gazing to the floor, and then making the choice to maybe gaze towards the left thumb. Finding an easeful place in the neck. The breath moving peacefully, drawing that right hip crease back and in, not leaning over to the right. One more big inhale, shining open a little deeper. And exhale, floating that arm down and settling into child pose. Don't be in a rush to get there. Maybe you're walking the big toes to touch and the knees to come wide. Exhaling, the hip creases back. Inhaling, lengthening the sternum away from the belly button and floating in the direction of the earth. Moving slowly, mindfully, with intention, allowing the third eye to make contact with something. Stacked hands, the earth, a pillow. Once you find your foundation, bring awareness to the breath. The breath that sustains this pose. The breath that enables us to move a little deeper, to soften. to bring us closer to the intention of the pose that is to lengthen from the crown of the head to the tip of the tailbone. To soften the hips in the direction of the heels. To allow the heart to melt towards the earth. And the breath to fill the wings of the heart. The thoughts to settle. This restorative pose that's always available to us to bring us back to the foundation of the earth, to move the breath between the earth and the sky. Aware of the thoughts and the choices that we have. With your next exhale, gather the belly, walk the hands under the shoulders, and then lower yourself all the way to the earth. I don't know if you had to come into it that way, but here we are. Find yourself resting on the earth. Maybe you have to remove that prop you had under your knees. So the belly, the tops of the front of the legs are resting on the earth, the tops of the feet, all 10 toenails. Walking the forearms to the earth so the elbows are underneath the shoulders. So if you're familiar with Sphinx pose, if you'd like to know the name. An easy Sphinx, no efforting here. To move deeper, we root into the forearms and inhale, lengthen the sternum away from the belly button as you slide the shoulder blades down towards the waist. No compression in the lower back because you're extending out of that lower back to come into the back bend. Not forcing anything. If you feel some tightness in the lower back, root into the tops of the feet. Activate the muscles in the legs. You'll become aware of the knees lifting off the earth. That creates more stability through the hips and comes out of efforting into the lower back, supporting this pose with the entire body, allowing the breath to move, gazing to the space between the thumbs. Not lifting the chin right here. Rooting into the wrist creases and the forearms. Inhaling, lengthening the heart between the gate of the arms. Opening up the entire front body. Allowing it to happen. And with your next exhale, slowly walking yourself down to stack one palm on top of the other and allow the forehead to rest on the back of the hands. That doesn't feel good for you, maybe turning your head to one cheek or the other, to rest on one cheek or the other. Use the exhales to soften and let go of any efforting in the legs. And as you soften all the muscles in the legs, you are aware of the heels moving away from each other, allowing the heaviness of the muscles in the thighs to give in to gravity. To roll out towards the earth. And that has an echo effect of softening into the lower back and the hips. And we find the breath. And as we become aware of the breath, we allow it to move just a little deeper. Allow the breath to become a little fuller, and the front body is compromised as it can only go just so far and it meets the earth, so the breath moves into the back. It wants to go there. More lung tissue in the back body anyway, so allow the wings of the heart to fill with the breath. Allowing the muscles between the ribs to expand, to open. And with your next exhale, Soften and allow the chin or the forehead to come to the floor as you allow the arms to float to either side of the hips. Rotating the palms to face the thighs so the thumbs rest on the earth. Rooting into the tops of the feet. Allowing the pubic bone to rest into the earth. Let go of any efforting. Find the ease in the breath. We're not in a rush to get into a pose. With your inhale, draw the shoulder blades to the center of the back. The shoulders themselves lift away from the earth. And maybe this is where you're staying. Shoulder blades hugging to the center of the back, letting go of the efforting. Fingertips reaching back. Maybe with your inhale, you're extending the sternum, the heart, away from the belly button, and you have a gentle lift off the earth. Maybe this is where you're staying, gazing to the earth, soften the back of the neck. Maybe you're able to lift the hands off the earth and reach through the fingertips, inhaling the heart a little more up and exhaling, lowering down. Turning the head onto the right cheek. Softening through the entire body. Release into the foundation beneath you. Find the breath. With your next inhale, allow the chin or the forehead to come back to your mat. You know where you're going. Don't be in a rush to get there. Set up for success by finding the foundation. Through the tops of the feet, rooted to the earth. Through the pubic bone. Palms facing the hips, thumb to the earth. Shoulder blades hugging together and away from the ears. And with your inhale, the heart extends forward and maybe up. You gaze to the earth, soften the chin to the notch and the collarbone. Going deeper to inhale. The arms reach back and up, a deep opening across the front body. The work in this upper body, no efforting in the lower back, no congestion. And with your exhale, slowly lowering down, turning onto the opposite cheek. I think it's the left. And breathing there. Deep inhales, softening exhales. Maybe bending the legs at the knees and floating the legs side to side in a windshield wiper. Just to soften through the lower back. And then find stillness, allow the feet to float back to the earth. If you bent the knees, walk the chin to the earth, walk both hands underneath the shoulders, exhale there, inhale up to all fours and exhale into child pose. 3 rounds of breath here. Move it around if that feels good. I only offer suggestions. Do you feel some gripping or tightness? Do you need to move it around before settling into your child pose? Setting up for downward facing dog, we walk the arms forward into an active child pose. This is the foundation as we lift the hips so that we can curl the toes, but then we reach the hip creases back and let them rest on the heels again. As if you could slide the top of the mat away from you. We find that foundation through the palms of the hands. The arms are in the shoulder sockets. All the muscles around the shoulder girdle are supporting you. Exhaling, the belly hugs in and up, the knees lift. And inhaling, we reach the hip creases up to where the wall meets the ceiling. Maybe this is not a accessible pose for you today. And maybe you're coming back down onto your knees and just staying in an active child pose. Same benefit. Maybe you're bicycling out your dog. You're not waiting for me to suggest it because you're so mindful of the breath moving in the body that you know what the body needs. You can feel the efforting and know where to move the breath to find the release. As you gently bend one knee and then the other, moving with the breath. So you're aware of the right side body and that lengthening from the hand through the straight leg. So that you're aware of the difference between one side and the other. And then maybe coming into stillness in your dog. And then deeply bending the knees and walking the hands and feet together. Rooting into those feet and inhaling into half forward fold. Parallel to the earth, soft knees, palms of the hands resting on the thighs. And with your next inhale, the shoulder blades slide to the center of the back. Deep opening across the heart space. With your exhale, the belly gathers in and up as you root into the feet. You can inhale and come all the way up to stand. Rolling through the shoulders, big circles, shoulder blades sliding up and down the back body. And then softening and settling down. Feet are hips distance. Finding the foundation for your Tadasana. Rooting into the circumference of the heels and lengthening up to the sky from there. So that from the waist down, you're growing your roots. And then you can inhale and lift the ribs to grow the rest of your body. To float the crown of the head up over the shoulders, to soften through the shoulders, to allow the breath to move. Bringing awareness to the palms of your hands. Becoming aware of the energy that's in the palms of your hands. The energy that's circling through your body with the breath. And with your inhale, as you cup your hands up towards the ceiling, maybe you can feel that energy moving with you. And as you exhale, floating the hands through the center of the body, to come to rest on either side of the hips again. Inhaling out, around, and up. And exhaling, bringing that energy from the crown of the head to the base of the spine. 2 more rounds like this. No efforting in the shoulders, strong foundation, linking breath and movement. And the next time you exhale, find stillness and allow the palms to float together at the center of the heart. Reconnecting to the earth and your foundation that sustains you. And then allowing the hands to float to the hips. Allowing the weight to shift over the left leg, coming onto the toes of the right. You're at the top of your mat, yes? And maybe you step or slide that right foot in back of you. Coming into Warrior One, with the right heel on the earth and the toes pointing to the upper corner of your mat. Let both hips face forward. Find that connection through the soles of the feet, and with your exhale, bend into that left knee. Settling the hips between both legs, keeping the foundation active. Nice. Inhale the arms out in T. Reach through the fingertips. Exhale, right arm under left. Maybe the backs of the hands come together as you bend the elbows. Maybe the hands come to the upper arms. What feels right for you? Maybe clasping elbows. Inhale, lengthen through the heart. Maybe palms of the hands together. Does that feel better? Find the breath. With your next exhale, keep drawing that left hip crease back, hinge forward, coming towards parallel to the earth, but maybe not all the way. Inhale all the way up. Nice. That is the goal, but you might not be there yet. Exhaling, hinging forward, strong left leg, foot, reaching back through the right heel. Moving slowly, mindfully with the breath, hinging forward with a long spine. Reaching the heart away from the belly button, not collapsing the front body. And with your next inhale up, find stillness there. Open, extend the arms back out in T. Float them towards the earth so you can step that back foot forward. Shake it out, let it go. Hip circles, what do you need to do? Roll the ankle. Find your Tadasana again. Find a gazing point ahead of you. Find the breath. Allow the weight to shift over the right foot so that you can step, walk, slide that left foot back. The heel to the earth, the toes pointing at a diagonal. With your exhale, settling the hips straight down to bend into that right knee. Where's your edge? Aware of the long spine, of the breath moving, of the right hip crease drawing back, of the stability of the pose, of the foundation that allows you to inhale the arms out in T and exhale left arm under right. And then find a pose that works for you. Maybe it's palms together at the heart center. It's not important. Modify so that the pose is easy for you. You can find a peaceful way to inhale, lengthen the heart away from the belly button. Exhale, draw that right hip crease back, floating forward towards horizontal to the earth or parallel to the earth. Inhale, shoulders over hips, stacking the spine. Exhale, hinging forward. Reaching back through that left heel, forward through the crown of the head, rooting to that right foot to draw yourself up. Slowly, mindfully, with intention. What do you notice? What do you feel? Not forcing yourself into a shape you're not ready for. Strong back body, long front body. No collapsing. Nice. With your next inhale up to stillness, exhale and step that back foot forward. Shake it out, let it go. And we'll float through our sun salutation to come back down to the earth. So we all know the poses that complete the sun salutation. Slow it down, move with the breath, allow the breath to guide you. Starting with our mountain pose, our connection to the earth, and inhaling through, floating through the energy surrounding us. Exhaling, hinging forward as we soften the knees so we can lengthen through the back body. And exhale, maybe go deeper, whatever that means for you. Root into the feet with your next inhale. We hinge up with a flat back and extend into the fingertips without efforting through the shoulders and bringing it to the heart center. 2 more rounds like this. Inhaling. Exhaling. The body has the memory of the poses. The breath guides us. And we move through a peaceful flow. Aware of the thoughts. Inhaling, finding that extension as we root down and lengthen up. Exhaling, bowing to the earth, honoring the light. It's a sun salutation. Not only this light of the sun, but the light that's in all of us. With your next exhale, we gather the belly to root to the earth, to inhale and lengthen. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart center. Inhaling there, exhaling, hinging forward, deeply bending the knees so you can bring the hands to the earth, or block your piece of furniture so you can step one knee back and then the other. And then come to sit and scoot yourself up to the top of the mat. Allowing the hands to come to the back of the knees. Use that as the foundation as you find the sitting bones. Inhale, lengthen straight up, draw the chest to the thighs. Soften there, find the breath. Aware of the lengthening straight up through the crown of the head. The shoulder blades flat on the back, deep opening across the collarbone. And then coming onto the top of the sacrum, working the core muscles or not, maybe exhaling, carving out the belly, rolling back down to the earth, coming to one elbow and the other, or rolling onto the side and coming to lie flat onto the earth. Big inhale there, exhale, land into the support beneath you. Sigh the breath out if that helps. Inhale into the heart space, exhale one knee and then the other, drawing in for a hug, rocking from side to side, making circles. What feels organic for you? What does your body need right now? And then finding stillness there. Exhaling, both feet to the earth, knees up to the ceiling. Inhaling, right leg straight up to the ceiling, keeping the foot flexed, crossing the ankle over the thigh. Offering space for that right knee to move away from you so that you can breathe into the right side body. Soften into that hip. Maybe walking the left heel a little closer to the sitting bone. Maybe staying right where you are. Maybe it's in your practice to take the bind as you exhale and root the sacrum to the earth, drawing the thigh towards the belly. Or a deeper opening into the lower back, the glutes, the hip, the back of the thigh, without efforting into the shoulders. Your practice, your body, please stay where the breath is most peaceful. With your exhale, releasing any bind you might have taken to float that left foot back to the earth. Inhaling the right leg straight up to the ceiling. And exhale, floating that foot down. Inhaling, left leg extends. Flexing the foot, exhaling, crossing the ankle over the thigh. Softening that left knee away from you. And then scanning the body with the breath. Maybe you stay right here because you already feel an opening in the hip. You feel sensation in the left side. Maybe you have space to walk that right heel a little closer to the sitting bone. We're always making choices, wise choices for our body, for our heart, that move us along our path towards an opening and a peacefulness. Maybe you take the bind. Maybe this side's a little different than the other and you're backing out of the pose because it just doesn't feel right. There are no rules. Body and breath, finding the peace, allowing the thoughts to settle so that we can breathe into the wise heart and make choices, wise choices. With your exhale, the belly gathers, we release any bind that we've taken. Breathing into the heart space and then drawing the knees in for a final hug. The knees come up over the hips in stillness as if you were sitting in a chair. The arms extend out in T. Taking a stack knee twist or any other twist that suits you. Maybe there's another twist you love in your practice. Allowing the knees or one knee to float over to one side or the other, to find extension from armpit to hip, from hip to knee. Softening there. Finding stillness and rest in this twist. Allowing both shoulders to rest on the earth, the arms to extend out in T. Maybe allowing the gaze to float towards the fingertips opposite the knees. How does that feel? Bringing awareness to the back body. Inhale, fill that space. Exhale, soften. Maybe that means the back floats a little closer to the earth. Softening into the pull of gravity. Not efforting to draw yourself into the pose. With your inhale, gazing up to the ceiling. With your exhale, the knees float back up and then over to the other side. Modifying for this side. Finding a place for the best breath to move easily so that you can rest in stillness. Getting the full benefit of the pose. Allowing the gaze to turn, if that feels good for you, the chin towards the shoulder, opposite the knee. Easy breath in, peaceful breath out. Your natural rhythm, letting go of any control you might have had on the breath and just bringing awareness to the rhythm. With your inhale, gazing up to the ceiling. With your exhale, the knees come back up. Taking any final movement to complete your practice so that we can settle into Shavasana. Maybe you need to, or you like to come into legs up the wall, supported bridge. Maybe you stay there for a while in Shavasana and then come out of it. Maybe covering up. Maybe getting a pillow to put in the back of your knees or the back of your head, or a blanket. The body's been heated up a little, the energy is moving, and sometimes we feel a chill. When you're ready, settling into stillness, lying down, seated, legs up the wall, wherever you need to be for Shavasana, so that we can rest the body in stillness. Allow the breath to come back to its natural rhythm, to restore the mind, the body, and the spirit into the state of peacefulness that we've been working towards. Moving the energy through the practice of the poses to find our tight spaces where the energy is blocked. Using the breath. Settling into the foundation beneath us, the support and security of the earth. Melting into that support. The body becomes heavy. Aware of the breath. Softening the space between the eyes, allowing the eyes to rest heavy into the back of the head. The forehead melts towards the earth, and all the muscles surrounding the eyes soften and release. All the muscles in the jaw soften, allowing the tongue to slip away from the roof of the mouth and the lips to soften. All the muscles in the face melting towards the earth. Right there for the breath in. Right there for the breath out. The breath, our anchor, drawing us back out of our thoughts into the body. Soft breath in, restoring breath out that creates space for the next breath in. Maybe attaching a color or a mantra to the breath to help you with the focus. We practice over and over again in this pose, just like all the others, and even as we do in life. Falling out of the pose, forgiving ourselves, and then coming back into it. A renewal with each moment to start again, with each day to begin again. We have the pose, we have the breath, we have the choice to turn inward. We remember the movement in the body. We remember the breath that guides us. And we rest in the stillness. Our choices become clearer as our thoughts settle. Yoga gives us the opportunity to feel the nature of the body, to feel the nature of the breath, to turn inward, to practice mindfulness, which is the process of remembering who we are, to feel into our being. Use the connection of the breath and the body to turn toward the truth of our experience. Lean into that experience and make wise choices. Right there for the breath in. Right there for the last of the breath out. Breathing in and breathing out. And I'll be here to guide you out. Slowly becoming aware of your body resting on the earth. Becoming aware of the space surrounding you. Aware of the cool breath flowing in and breath warmed by the body leaving as you gently deepen the inhales and the exhales. Slowly bringing your body back from stillness, softly rubbing your thumb against your fingertips, wiggling your toes, maybe slowly turning your head from side to side. With a deep awakening inhale, maybe you extend through the fingertips and then float the arms to a comfortable position as you bend one knee and then the other to softly step the feet onto the earth, transitioning here. Feeling more awake and alert with every inhale. Relaxed and peaceful. Knowing that you can take this peace with you and return to it just by coming back to the breath. Using your arm as a pillow, rolling over to one side or the other. Allowing the breath to move into the heart space, the front and back. Breathing into the wise heart. And what will you take with you off your mat and into your life? Resisting the urge to open your eyes, keeping them softly closed if that suits you, press into the earth and gently draw yourself up to a comfortable, easy seated position. Aware of resting on the earth, of lengthening towards the vast sky. As we inhale, the arms float out, around, and up. And as we exhale, the hands float together to rest at the heart center. And we lift our hearts. And we bow our heads. And we commit again, just as our teachers before us offered the intention that our practice be continuous, that our hearts be steady, that our efforts be of benefit to all beings, that all beings may be safe, may all beings be healthy, may all beings be happy, may they find their freedom, and may they know peace, and may they walk through the world with ease. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. Namaste.
Why can't I unmute all? I guess I think you guys have to unmute yourselves. I'm trying to unmute one at a time, but I don't know why I don't have yeah, they don't have, it's not a one unmute for everybody.
We can do it ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You did it.
You can do it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you, Marie.
All right.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah, enjoy your Wednesday and into the weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Remember, send me a link.
Yes, I will send the link for the recording to everybody and the Facebook. Chuck, so good to see you. See you all soon, I hope. Have a good day.
Take care.
Take care.